Hey, y'all. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. How is everybody doing? Y'all, it's crazy. We are steamrolling through March and firmly in place with Women's History Month. First of all, huge thank you to Lynn last week. If you missed that episode, you need to grab it out of the comments. Go check that out on the YouTube channel because it was so good. And I don't think finances in any part of our life is something that we like to discuss, but moreover, you're missing a beat if you're not doing it as far as business and in your life in general. But talking about business as we do around here, it's a big one. And Lynn really gave some amazing content, and all of her links are within that video in the comments. So make sure you go check that out. Get with her if you need more help, because having a financial plan is everything, and it's never too late to learn, no matter where you are in your life. So thank you for that, Lynn. We appreciate you. Tonight, we are carrying it on. So if you missed first Wednesday of March, then you missed that this entire month we are highlighting things about Women's History Month, talking more pointedly about topics that come up and affect specifically women, even though, yes, I know we are the title of our channel, our talk, our pod, whatever you want to call this, is about women, but we do take on male perspectives here and there. We had our husbands on, so we do address those, but this is specific to women. It's what we know, it's what we do, right? So this is what we're here talking about. And this evening, we're going to touch on one that we've kind of talked about a little bit in a previous episode, but didn't go super deep into it because it deserved its own platform, its own day, its own 30-40 minutes worth of conversation. So we're going to do it tonight. So make sure you hit share so that all of your peeps can get in here, can catch this. Tag your homies in the comments. We would love to hear from everybody and reach those that really need to hear what we've got to say when we're talking about this evening and every evening from here on out. All right, ladies, let's do it. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, y'all. So welcome. I'm excited for tonight because for those that have been under a rock and don't realize, I really was excited this year when I saw the theme for International Women's Month, right? So embrace equity, okay? Equity. So when we talk embrace equity, this is different than equality. Sometimes people will use the two words interchangeable and not really realize that there are differences in it. And that's why I feel like we're at a place where we need equity. And what I mean by that is, so let's take it way back, right? So when they were trying to figure out segregation and getting integration going on, there was a whole case all around separate but equal. But the conclusion basically being you cannot be separate and equal, right? And when we think of equality, it essentially just means everybody gets the same thing, right? So equality would be, and I heard this somewhere, so this is not my thoughts, but I heard this somewhere on equity. We have 5 oranges, right? 5 kids, everybody gets an orange. It's equal, right? But what it doesn't take into account is that Sally sitting over there is allergic to oranges. So if you equally give her oranges, right, then, well, yeah, it's equal. And technically it's fair, right? But now she's at a disadvantage because she can't even eat that orange. What's she going to do with the orange? She can't eat it. Whereas what equity says is, okay, she's allergic to oranges. Let's give something that is comparable to give her similar opportunities, but take what may seem like a disadvantage because she's allergic to oranges and give her the same level playing. And the reason why I think this is an important topic, an important thing for us, especially being that we talk, right, Black women in business, the dirty truth is sometimes the way people show up or present themselves is, oh, well, we're all in America and we got the same opportunities, right? You can go get those same loans or go to the same banks. See, it's equal. But it doesn't take into account some of the things like trauma, slavery, damage, right? That now I'm fighting with these things. So you trying to give me oranges and I'm allergic to oranges, right? And so that's where, to me, embracing equity makes such a huge difference, because we have to also understand the makeup of people. Sometimes, while equality can have good intentions, you can actually exclude a whole set of people because they don't have the same advantages as someone else. And so tonight, I think that's super, super important as we talk a little bit and get a little deeper into, because I do think that there's levels of marketing out there. There's levels of spaces that happen where one group of people will be like, well, I did literally every single step they told me to do, and I didn't get those results, right? Like, I'm still broke. I ain't got no money, right? She said if I did her course and I follow her systems and I did 18 reels in 4 days, then I was gonna have 155,000 followers, and now everybody's gonna want to buy my products, and I am broke, and none of that happened, right? And I think that's where, to a certain place, equity comes into place. So that's kind of how I just wanted to like start it off. I don't know, ladies, if you got something to kind of elaborate a little bit more on embracing equity, especially when it comes to business.
I like how you started off with the definition of both equality and equity, because as a doula, I see this in hospitals. As a special education teacher, I see this with kids in my building. And so you brought up the the fact of just going into a bank and, oh, you can get the same loan as me because it's all equal and all this and everything, but not knowing that, yeah, I can't eat those oranges that you ate. So we got to figure out something else. I think this lovely country of ours is just now getting to the point where we recognize that we are different. And now they have to develop resources for us, because in the past it wasn't like that. So I want to ask you, ladies, if you need, I don't know, support or just education in your own business, what would you look for, or what is available to you? Because we all in different parts of the country. And I know here we just need a whole lot. We need help, Southeast Arkansas. But what what do y'all need as far as support and all that goes? To level
the this is gonna probably open up a whole basket of things. But so where I'm at, for those who don't know, I'm in the Tampa area. So you're talking super metro. If you've never been in here, literally nothing that's supposed to be small town at this point is small town. It truly reminds me, and not like in apples to orange situation, but it's like New York, right? Like New York is the hub, and then you have all these little boroughs and extra. That's what's going on in Tampa. It's a mess. So there are lots of opportunities, but equity is an issue, right? It's a major issue, and it's one that's like visible. I can imagine it's highly visible in Detroit as well, but Arkansas, y'all got other issues. I'm not even going to, but so there are opportunities. There are places. I know there are places that you can go. There's always like talks. I see, obviously, I got here during the COVID situation. So what I'm seeing is like tons of things coming. It could have always been that way. But personally, as far as me, when I need something, I am very reluctant to go to anybody else. Like, I will do all the research, and if there's a way for me to actually not speak to somebody, but just like purchase a course or read the course or be a part of something where I don't have to actually physically interact with you, that's the route I'm going to go. And a lot of it is just because when I did a lot of deep diving into, like, why are you the way you are? Like, why are you like this, Tameka? Right? I realized that like the name, we've talked about things being attached to your name. And I have always, if I put my name down on something, it's like, nope, because I have what people would, I guess, call an ethnic first name. So there is always an assumption. And I've even been told, like, when I saw your name, you're nothing like what I thought you was going to be. And then that prompts you to be like, wait, what do you mean? Oh, because, you know, you Tameka, and it's like, all right, so we're just attaching names to visual aids and like all of this stuff. So, but I'm very like, if I can get it without actually being like, hey, I got to schedule an appointment with you before you'll let me in, I'll do it. If I can start, if there's a free piece to it, I'm even more on it. Cause then that means I can gauge where like you are as far as how you teach, what you're going to be willing to give. Because I feel like, especially in the network marketing, direct sales, what else do they call it? Social selling, MLM, all of that. People tend to bring you in by telling you something's free and they tell you nothing. Like Dayna said, oh, you do 18 reels in this amount of time, you're going to make $1 million. But then that's it. And then they say, and if you want to know how I really did it, pay me $10,000, right? If you do that to me, I'm like, you're not for me. Let me find somebody else. So if I can gauge somebody like that before jumping full in to commitment, that's the route that I'm going to go. It's what works for me. One day I will big girl up and maybe I will leave that. And it's just what I'm comfortable with. And it's how I can take tangible pieces and say, I can implement it this way without feeling like I get the unwanted commentary and, you know, prejudices.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. My parents gave me a good old white girl name. Dang. But anywho, just to kind of like, yeah, so from my perspective, I will definitely say I've been in business 8 years and I am just learning about resources that are in my backyard just now, right? I go to so many networking events or so many, like I will put myself out there so I can be in rooms with people that know stuff or have resources for stuff. And people will say stuff like, oh yeah, like the classes that happen at Tech Town. What's Tech Town? They're like, what you mean what's Tech Town? Well, what do they do at Tech Town? Well, that's where they're giving out grants. Wait, is grants a free money or is that money I got to pay back? Right? Like, so I'm asking questions that are elementary. Okay. Like, I'm asking questions that really, as a business owner that's been in business for some time, I had no idea there was free money out there. You mean to tell me if I put a business in Detroit, you're going to pay me some money because I'm Black? Like, I had no idea those things are out there, right? So I even will say, Andriana, for you in your area, there's probably resources there that y'all not tapping into because you don't know that they're there, right? And unfortunately, the people that do understand the systems and know that it's there or know how to get it aren't educating nobody else about it. Thus, where we get to this equity, right? So for them, they're like, of course I'm gonna get out in these streets and get this money and get some taxes, you know, write-offs and this and that and tax breaks and this, because that's the smart thing to do, right? And then what they say is, well, I had to go out there and educate myself, so you should just know and you should just find it too. That's called equality, not equity. We don't have those resources. We don't know what to look for if we don't know what to look for. Our daddies didn't have businesses. Your daddy came over here and opened a business, right? And maybe they had to learn over years and time and things like that, but I did not have that same advantage. I'm over here eating apples and you keep trying to feed me oranges. So like, again, I'm blown away, but I will say, and I challenge anybody that's listening or if you're watching or whatnot, just be careful though with that too, because just like you might not have known that there's grants and money out there, if you're not a good steward of your little bit of money you have, just because you get a big amount of money, don't mean that now you're going to know what to do with it, right? Because I think that's where mentorship comes into play. And I actually did a post last month for during Black History Month, because I'm just like, if you want to be an ally, like, listen. Mentorship. It's powerful, y'all. Like, so if you are in other realms, like whether you are of a different nationality or you're like, I am, Black, but I've been a little bit more successful in businesses or I've done certain things. I challenge you to go take what you have learned and pass it to the next person, right? Pass it to the next person. No more crabs in a bucket, right? But pass it to the next person and pass that knowledge, because what you know and you can take for granted that you know, other people might not know. So I know for sure that there are resources in my area. I don't know what all of them are, right? I have people that are coming to me constantly asking, and I just like, let me email this person. Maybe they know. Let me talk to this person. Maybe they know. Let me hook you up with this person. So again, I do think that's a challenge. I would love though too to let's get a little bit deeper into some of the dream that is sold to us that don't always work out for us the way they present that dream. If y'all want to touch a little bit on that, but because I think that that's another great example of where equality comes into play versus equity comes into play, and we don't always get the same results.
I think that has to do with the resources and knowing as well. Like, I think there's two types of people. You're either waiting on somebody to give it to you, or just going out and getting it yourself. Like, it's like no, like mix. And I do think mentorship, especially when we're talking business, is like major, like Dayna said, because you don't know what you don't know. And in this area, that just doesn't fly, right? Like, if you're taking a test, it teaches you where you need to go and get help. Like, okay, I need to go back to this paragraph because I didn't know that. Clearly, I missed it. But in this avenue, there is somebody else that knows, and we have to be willing to give that information. In this specific industry, if you don't already know, if you haven't been with us long enough, we are all in network marketing as a part of our vehicle. It's not only what we do. Like Andriana said, she is a doula as well, but she's also a network marketing. Dayna does a whole bunch of things. I'm just going to mention marketing as well as the network marketing piece with Young Living. And so specifically, I feel like in that industry, because lots of women choose to get into network marketing as a vehicle to drive another portion of their business, I feel like that dream gets sold as a recruitment tool, as a way of marketing. And I don't know who started that. I don't know which person 60, 70 years ago when this thing first started, who was like, this is how you do it. I don't know, but I swear it's got to stop. But I also think that as somebody stepping into it, you also have to be like, you have to have a direction for where you want to go. Yes, network marketing seems like you're being handed a business on a platter, but you still have to run it like you're setting up a brick and mortar store. Like, you have to know, we were having a conversation before, but you have to know what your voice wants to be. Like, how do I want to be seen? Where do I want to be seen at? How do I want to be seen doing this? And then most importantly, like, how quickly are you wanting to get to these milestones? Like, if you honestly believe that from day 0 to day 180, you're going to be making $1 million, then you also need to know in the middle, like, what's that going to take? Because it doesn't look like you working 10 minutes a day doing one reel of you dancing to what, I don't know why Shabba Ranks just came into my head, but dancing to whatever is popular and then thinking you're going to make $1 million, right? Because there might be one person out here watching that's like, but I did. Okay, well, you're the one, and I'm not talking to you, but I also would like to say, how is it still going now? Because I know lots of people that hit that are like, it's not the same. And those are the people who are quitting because it ain't as easy as it was, but that easiness comes from that equity. I swear it does. There are absolutely no excuses from me, because I've chosen to drive my car in my lane at the pace that I'm going, because that's what works for me right now. But there is that equity to those people who tell those stories that are like, hey, I joined, I'm just gonna, because Young Living is what we do, so it's there. I joined Young Living. I randomly told everybody that I fell in love with lavender because, you know, I was struggling sleeping, and that 3 months later I was Royal Crown Diamond, right? But I've also heard the story that those above them came out, brought 200 people with them to a class, and then this, right? So I know the first class that was held for me by the person who signed me up, there was not 200 people. You know what I'm saying? So there is that. And I'm not saying you have to air that out. I'm not saying that when you tell your story about how you did it, you got to be like, well, and you know, I had somebody who was, you know, but you got to be honest, right?
I actually think you should. I actually think you should. So, seriously, because here's the thing, at a base level, right, when we leave out key pieces to that success, right, unfortunately, I don't want to say it's a lie, but it's a lie. Yeah. So I think about even myself, or even like, okay, I've been able to get myself in media. I was able to get my children in media. Do y'all know how many emails I had to send out just to get one person to say yes? Yeah. Right? Like, if I don't talk to you about, oh, wait a minute, no, I sent out about 200 emails every single month, right, for the last year to get one yes, right? Then the person that says, oh, well, I sent out 4 emails, they send up here like, see, this don't work because I tried to do 4 emails. And to me, with your example, right, like, people neglect to say, oh, but I actually already had this following of this. And so then when I was able to bring that over to this space, I already had this audience that was soaking up everything that I was putting out there anyway. Mm-hmm. So it only made sense that when I then now added essential oils to what I was doing, or I added, you know, food to, or whatever it is, then they're going to gravitate to that as well. And I'm going to just put this out there. Some people ain't going to like it. They're not going to like me for this. But I don't care how you slice and dice it. If you are white in this country, you are considered, right, the normal. Mm-hmm. So our baseline goes back to that. I actually just did a post in my marketing group, the little thumbs up, right? What is the default thumbs up? It's a little yellow, white finger looking thing. The default ain't a black person hand. So why everything in our mind, we default back to what we saw as the majority, the masses, and what was normal, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't care how you slice and dice it. If a pretty little white girl over here is presenting the same products, the same information that me as a black woman is doing, she's going to have a space where more people are going to gravitate it simply because that's what they've seen as the norm. Mm-hmm. And that's across the board. That's whether it's my demographics, your demographics, they're just going to automatically say, oh, because this feels safe. That's what I've seen for all of my life, right? As the advertisement of what things are, whether it's in media, whether it's in press, whether it's in print, whatever it is. And so you're naturally going to gravitate to that because it feels safe. It feels comfortable. Now, are there times that we break out of that? Sure. But the reality is we would have to make a conservative effort to fall out of that because all of us were programmed that that was what was normal.
I definitely agree that you have to, especially the whole people were growing on social media and not saying, well, I had 10,000 followers before I started whatever this business was, or I had an original business. It always seems to be a photographer. I used to be a photographer and then I started adding. I was just saying, like, you don't have to be like, well, I had a class of 200 people that I didn't bring, but there is a truth element because I started ground zero, like you're saying. Like I didn't even have, matter of fact, I didn't even have Instagram. All I had was Facebook. And the only reason why I had Facebook was because I was in college and Facebook was a thing. So I didn't have Instagram. When I started Instagram, it was ground zero. But you do get that frustration, right? Because you hear people like, well, I did this and this and this, and all of a sudden I had 10,000 followers, and before everybody had a link, now they're like, well, I sell 50 kits a week or 50 kits a month or whatever just because of the link. Well, I don't have the link swipe up, sweetie, so I have to tell people to comment below or do this and do that. So yeah, that element has to happen, as especially when we're speaking into that realm, because if you're not telling people, then they are assuming, well, I can come in here and I can be making $30,000 a month just like you did, without knowing that, I had a gathering of X amount of people, or I was already part of a wives club or a moms club and we did weekly meetings or whatever. Like, those are nuances that are important because it does matter.
And that's how I got roped in. Y'all know I fall for everything. We did the whole influence and all that type of stuff. I fall for whatever. And so when I first joined Young Living, I was like, oh, shoot, you talked about I can make $10,000 a month and all I got to do is show somebody this little box. Okay, what am I supposed to do now? And then nothing. Like, what am I supposed to do? But anyway, I digress, because like I told y'all before in previous episodes, I probably quit my job like 15 times. I mean, I was on the verge of doing it this year too, but pray my strength. Anyway, to get to your point, Dayna, of just the step-by-step thing of people showing how they get to where they are. Do you think they want to keep the success to themselves, or just they don't have an actual answer to just say, okay, this is what you can do, instead of just saying, oh, do 18 reels and you're going to get this many followers? Is it that it was just luck of the draw, so to speak, and they don't know what to actually say to you, maybe?
I think in general, most people are selfish. I feel like people, it's not that I don't want you to win, but I don't want to take away the energy of feeding me to win to help you. Is basically what it is. Now, if you want to pay me and it's convenient for me to do, right, then absolutely I'll go ahead and help, right? So that's why, and another little thing that I do want to just kind of put in here, I don't know if it fits for this particular episode, but I also feel like you're getting a lot lately of these people that are preaching like high ticket offers. And I use the expression, you got to make money while you awake before you can make money while you sleep, right? So if you can't sell something for $10, if you can't sell a bottle of oil for $30, whatever it is, how you sit up here going to sell something for $10,000? Unless it hasn't been proven, right? So I feel like a lot of people are out here selling stuff. They're selling the idea. They're selling the education that they've gotten and the visions that they believe that they can execute for you. And so I don't feel like it's all like a malicious intent. You guys, this camera is going to drive me nuts. Oh my goodness. I tried to do this little thing and I keep getting stuck. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to keep talking though, even though y'all can't see me. Because otherwise, if I try to fix it, it's going to be a minute. But regardless, I think it's super, super important that people realize that just because this person did certain things and it worked for them, you have to make sure, is this really the route that they've tried, done it, been successful, and then now help other people to do the same thing? And a lot of times, because people are, well, I believe this is going to work. I've read that this is going to work. And so this is the system that I'm using to work and things like that. Unfortunately, what happens is you've paid all this money. So they've gotten this high ticket offer and they're still making money off of you, but you haven't gotten any results that you actually want or need. And you're still in the same little circle thinking, well, maybe this stuff doesn't work, or maybe this isn't for me. And the reality is it could be, but the reality is, unfortunately, you're with the wrong circle. you're with the wrong people. These aren't the people that are really trying to mentor you. And so I feel like even the people that maybe have good intentions or good hearts, they don't have the bandwidth to actually do it. That's not everybody, but I do feel like there's a lot of that out there.
For me, I feel like it is two things. The big thing for me, though, that I think has really skyrocketed this, because I can honestly say before I even stepped in and really decided that I wasn't going back into regular America, I was going to run a business, people were very forthcoming, right? They were forthcoming with how they did things, how you could do it. Like, let me walk you through this. I remember hearing people be like, I will hold your hand. I don't think I have heard a network marketing person say, when you join my team, I will hold your hand in like 2 or 3 years at this point. But I remember hearing that. I think what has changed up majorly is this whole big slogan, charge what you're worth. And we have really completely we have chopped and screwed what it actually means when whoever coined this and put it on the shirt for the first time meant when they were like, charge your worth. Because I see it posted, and if you feel some type of way, that I'm talking about you because I saw your post. I cannot stand when I see a post being like, I'm going to charge my worth, and it's like something super random. Like, I can't even think of it. Child, listen. Y'all, this thing gets me so angry, because when it's coming to information, there's a time and a place, right? There's a time and a place for you charging your quote unquote worth versus, like Dayna said, just being selfish. It's gotten to a point where people are like, and to be honest, the people that are probably doing it got the information for free. Somebody was their mentor, pulled them aside and was like, honey, look, and it was so magical. But now they like, but you're going to pay me to do this thing. Like, I'm not going to tell you that was their fault. They told me for free. Oh, well, I'm finna make money off of it. And it burns me up, because too many things are handed down to people. And again, I'm not saying if you're sitting on something that you put in painstaking, that you have to hand something on a platter to somebody for absolutely nothing. But the idea that in order for me to give you something, you have to be able to give me something is so insane to me. Like, it's bartering on a whole other skeezy level to me. Like, it's not, okay, you're a doula and I'm deep into self-care trips, all the things. Let's team up, you and me. Like, I got your postpartum back, right? But I'm not telling you, in order for me to give you this information, you got to pay me half of whatever your client charge. Like, that's insane. But that's the point that we've gotten to. And I feel like we've just run away and, like I said, chopped and screwed all of these sayings. This charge your worth, yes, but understand what that really means. That is where we've gotten crabs in the bucket so heavy-handed, because it's like, if I can yank you down, like that picture. I love when Women's History Month comes around and it's the picture of one lady just hoisting women up and then they pull her up. But it's literally somebody out there with a foot on the person's back, knocking them down. Nope, you can't come up here. Nope, you can't come up here, because you want to keep it. I heard something, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, and wherever I heard it, if it was you that said it, this is me giving you props because I don't remember. But we talk about the table is big enough, pull up a chair, right? But it was like, when you get to a certain point, it's not that there's not enough room, it's that you can't find the people that want to sit and eat with you at the table. And I was like, child, somebody say that again. I put that thing on repeat. I don't know where I heard that, whether it was today or yesterday, but that rings true. And I think it's because so many people, it takes a special kind of something when you say, look, I'm pulling up my chair, I'm sitting at this table, and I'm going to put in the work too. Like, I want you to win. I want me to win. And if me winning means you do too, like that, you shouldn't be like, but you going to pay me. But I feel like that's where we've gotten, because my worth is wrapped up in my winning. But okay, I took a loss today, but honey, I am still worth every little bit of everything that I did today.
And maybe that's why people like me don't reach out, because I'm always thinking, well, shoot, I got to pay her for her time. She taking out time with me. I got to give her something. So I don't know. They never asked for it, but I'm just, anyway. It's a whole lot. It ain't no equity around here. I have one friend that moved here a few years ago from New York City. And she was like, oh my gosh, it felt like I stepped back into the 1950s. Well, I said, welcome, because this is what it is. And it's always been like this since I can remember. And so, like I said in the beginning of this, I feel like the whole country has just gotten used to using the word equality. And now we're switching over to equity. Oh, you have a difference. You have a need. Now I got to figure out how to support this need that you have. Well, shoot, I thought we was all getting the same thing. So now I feel like it's gonna take 50 more years, and we just gonna be here for the ride. I don't know.
Well, I hope it don't take another 50 years. And I will say, I do want to just kind of circle back to that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm busy. You busy. Tameka busy. Andriana busy. Right? And so I'm not sitting up here telling you that, like, if your business is this, that you should just be giving everything away for free. Oh, have an oil. You have an oil. Here you go. Because when I was on that podcast, video, whatever we do, they said I should be getting it for free. I shouldn't charge for nothing. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is, because there's a space somewhere in between, right? What has happened is we have not, again, and I'll kind of say this, I said it a little bit, like, we haven't even proven a proof of this has happened, right? Like, so I have gotten the knowledge, I've gotten the education, I know I can help people, but you can't come out the gates talking about $10,000 because you ain't did it yet, right? Like you haven't done it yet. We believe you that it can happen. And so there's a difference between, like, taking advantage of people because you have that leverage or you have that clout or you have that influence versus saying, okay, here's my resources and this is how I'm going to help. And I'll just use this example because I think it's a smart way to do this. This is why a lot of business owners then have nonprofits, right? Because this was a week or so ago, and maybe I'll tag Miss Rita because she had put this post out there where she said that, her love is books. Okay. She's in our Moms in Business Ann Arbor group. And she said, I just want to give out books for free. Right. And my response to her is, well, somebody has to pay for it. Right. Like, there's no way to just give things out for somebody's paying for it along the way. But as a business owner, the beautiful thing that you can do is you can say, okay, this is my moneymaker, right? And this is what I can offer. And then I can either start like a nonprofit or just out of the kindness of, if you're smart, you're going to start a nonprofit just because it makes more sense, right? Or out of the kindness of my heart, I'm going to give here, right? So what happens is you're taking those profits out the top and then you're pushing those finances so that then, yes, you can go ahead into those schools that can't afford these books to then bless them with books, right? So I do feel like a huge portion that a lot of entrepreneurs miss out on is that giving, right? So once you have this pool, right, you don't want it to be so small that you got this little itty cup and you keep trying to scoop to everybody else and you left with nothing. But then you also don't want to have this massive pool where you got so much stuff. You like, woo, we having a good time or whatever, and you're not giving anything either. There has to be something in between, right? That because all of us need to give. Like, that, what is more happiness in giving than receiving, right? There's a reason for that. And so if you're not outputting as well, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff that could be coming your way. And so to me, find that in between. Find that in between. We're not saying don't charge, just find that in between.
I like that, the analogy of like the big pool, basically taking your big pool, putting it into your little cup and giving out. And it's funny, I just had this conversation with somebody because I signed up for her free webinar. Somebody who does this really well, I'm going to shout her out. Even if you're just like, I still don't quite get it, just go and listen to something that she does, something that's free or low cost. And then, so Kristen Boss, right? Go listen to her podcast real quick. Just pick an episode. I can tell you she is going to sell you on her academy on everything that she does. However, I never get annoyed. Like, I've been on a lot of like free things where like you just knew it was coming. Like they were waiting to get you and just say, okay. And now where the real stuff comes in, tomorrow I'm hosting and you have to get it now. But with Kristen, she, even whether it's a $9 event, $13 event, free event, I'm telling you, every time you're going to hear about her academy. But the reason that she can do these free events or these $3 events, first of all, because hundreds and thousands of people show up. So $9 times 15,000 people is a whole other thing. But because her big cup, her big pool can filter into this place where people can come and get a taste. But her free events, her lower dollar events, she put so much into it that if you were in a place where you were like, you know what, it's time for me to pay these $2,000 and be a part of the academy, but you feel like you got enough from that little cup that she fed you out of to bring in there. That's where you can have the audacity, as people would say, to say, look, now I'm going to charge you $10,000 because you gave them out of, even if it's a $9 or free or whatever you're charging, that's your low ticket. You can bring out your top dollar, like Dayna said, when you've proven that, look, even here, I'm ready and willing to serve you and give you. It's just escalated over here. It's just something else that takes a whole lot more time. And maybe it's one-on-one, it's more devotion, or the psychological pieces, if you pay more for it, you're more likely to show up. So I know that you're ready when you hand me $10,000, you're ready to take on what I'm giving you, because if not, that's just a huge waste and a risk. And I don't want you there because you're going to go write a bad review anyway. They will, girl. That's why, look, if you ain't ready, don't pay for it because you're not finna say that that's on you, not on me. But seriously, like Dayna said, like there's so much in giving, and I do it with just my team. Just thinking about it, I give so much to my team. However, it's because it's coming from that big pool, right? The big pool that we splashing around in, that Dayna said, is filtering the little cup, and it's like it is, and you can give versus feeling like I gotta sell you my $10,000. You gotta have it before I can give you anything. I gotta have 3 of them sold this month, because then it's desperation. And we don't want you to be desperate, girl. Don't be desperate. Ladies, do y'all have anything else to add this evening before we let these fine folks go about their Wednesday at evening, right? Not afternoon. Yes, y'all. I feel like Dayna's leaning forward to unmute, but I can never tell.
I was, but I saw Andriana had already unmuted. Oh, you muted yourself back. Oh. Yeah, I guess the only thing that I want to end with is I really, Dayna always challenges you, okay, to really, really take an honest assessment of how you move, how you operate, right? I want you to look at your circle. I want you to look at your business. I want you to look at how you shop and buy things. And I want you to honestly assess, am I focused on equality or do I understand equity? And when I say, do I understand equity, am I willing to make adjustments to show that I'm going to make it a more positive situation and outcome for those that are around me? You can only touch one, but let's start today by touching that one.
I love that, y'all. Absolutely love it. So y'all know what comes next. Make sure you share. If you have not already shared, go grab that YouTube link out of the comments. Make sure you follow it. So if next Wednesday you can't show up, but you know you're going to catch that replay over yonder, or you coming back to Facebook, we shared all over Facebook as well. But this is a week, this is a month you do not want to miss. So just in case you don't have an opportunity, go follow that YouTube link. Share, y'all. We would love to hear from you. Next week is World Doula, I think it's Day, right? World Doula Day. It's going to be an amazing chat. So make sure you catch us live, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. every Wednesday, but this week we are highlighting some of the most amazing women from all walks of life doing different things. It's going to be so good. So we will catch you next week. World Doula. So come hear about the baby, share with your girlfriend that's having one, about to have one, all the things. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great rest of your week and Wednesday evening.